I would be shocked there was not continual situations for both of them.
Because maybe they had an understanding.
There are a lot of open marriages out there where they say, "Hey, we'll stick around for the kids and for the business."
Wow. But you can't do that you can't do that as leadership in the chat.
That is where it gets sticky.
The question a lot of people are going to ask is, are you sorry for what took place, or are you sorry you got caught? I mean, because those are two very different questions, and a lot of people are going to have that question in their mind. How do you answer that question?
Well, I'm sorry it took place. It was the worst decision of my life.
Here's the thing. You all say that you want to help folks here, and I know that to be true because I know y'all. And I can tell you the best way you can do that is to be real about it.
Yes, sir.
Because I was so glad, Joni, to hear you say, you bet I got mad. At first I had this moment of calm and peace, but then I got plenty hot. I was mad, I was really upset, because, I mean, if women are out there watching this and watching you, I would hate for them to say, well, you know, that's just not real. You just don't sit down and have a moment of prayer and meditation and everything is okay. Because then they're going to say, well, I must not be a Christian. I must not have faith, because that ain't the way I feel. I wanted to set his hair on fire when he was in bed, you know, and so I'm glad to hear you be real about your emotions about that.
Boy. That is your boy, Marcus Lamb, back over a decade ago, coming out and saying that he was putting his hand in a honey pot that didn't belong to him. I don't know how to. I wanted to put it delicately, and he was in the process of being blackmailed, and he was like, "Oh, hold up! I'm not gonna give up this $7 million. I'm gonna go out and tell it all."
And it continues. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Level Up with Larry and Leo, where we turn trials and opportunities and dreams into reality. I am Larry, and this is Leo, and we've got more Daystar mess.
Bro, this thing, it's can't stop, won't stop. No diddy. So Marcus had a chance to apologize, Marcus Rogers. So I want to give a public apology to Joni. Joni, I'm sorry, baby girl. I was unaware that Marcus was out here slinging sausage.
Oh my gosh. Jesus.
And that brings more light, because I said, how could you not say that? How could you say that you're the happiest you've ever been right now? Well, that's why. Because he was caught and admitted to throwing sausage out there. Slinging it. And hey, we only know what he said, how long it went on, but we don't know for sure. We don't know how honest he was. And what that also tells me is if he was hiding an affair, he could be hiding SA.
Whew. So Daystar is all over the Christian YouTube streets right now. Everybody's talking about it, but this is something I haven't heard anybody bring up. So what we're thinking is this might be the genesis of a lot of what we're seeing happen today. This happened 14 years ago. Or this came out 14 years ago, where Marcus and Joni both decided they wanted to come public with Marcus's affair. And I heard allegedly this was an affair going on for 7 years. And I heard them talking about it, and you know they like to sugarcoat a lot of stuff. They like to say it was an emotional affair for a long time, and then eventually it just became intimate, which
we know what that means.
But if this is what they said it is, and let's bring up the fact of why they wanted to bring it up, because some group of people went to Marcus like, hey, listen, either you pay up or we gonna expose you. And we are going to let the world know what you be doing in and out of church service. When you ain't in church service, you got some other situations going on, and they basically they were like, hey, we want $7 million, or we taking it to the press. And Joni said, yeah, no. I didn't go through all of that, and I'm about to lose money too. Marcus, we gonna handle this right. And they
go to our friend.
We gonna get us a nice soft interview. They like soft interviews. Pause. They like soft interviews, so they went over to Dr. Phil. They said, hey, Dr. Phil, we need to break a story, and we're going to give it to you. Mm-hmm. We're going to give you this situation. And they're obviously, again, it's obvious they are media trained. They know how to frame a story. They know how to put something together to put themselves in the best possible light, because now they're not just exposing their sin, but they're ministering to us. They're showing us that God can restore a marriage, that God can, even if you've been through infidelity, God can raise you up from the ashes. So they basically utilized it like any good media person. You take any story that looks, you spin the story, and you use it for another advantage for your platform. So they were smart. They brought it out before you can, because if I tell my sin before you can, you have nothing on me. Just like Eminem and 8 Mile. I'll tell you everything about me before you even get a chance
to. Yo, look. This is conjecture. This is how the story is playing out in my mind. Brother Lamb goes out in these streets slinging sausage. Gets caught.
Good God.
Has to confess to his wife. Talks about the $7 million. Because ain't no way you transferring $7 million out of any account and not know.
Wait. Let me pause there.
Go.
Somebody told Joni, and she confronted him. Yeah, he ain't tell her.
Hey! So that further boosts my conclusion. So because of this, they go into counseling, probably because now Joni's not feeling like getting down with him. So guess what? They go into intimacy counseling. By who? Your boy Doug. Dougie. Not so fresh. Bro, when you see the timeline, how things are working out, bro. And that's why he said, Joni said she is happiest that she's ever been, because that brother let her down in a very crucial way, that she even said that she was angry, she was upset. So yeah, I'm sorry, Joni, my bad, girl. But I don't know if that's, another thing I want to point out about this is, now that also helps me to understand why she was able to move on so quickly. Because I don't know, maybe most of these last 14 years or however long it's been between that time and when he passed, she has slowly been detached from the marriage in a sense. Like, she was already moved on. So the grieving process didn't take as long because I've already grieved my marriage because it died already. So yeah, I could start dating in 3 months, or 4 months. I could get engaged in a year or so. I could do that because I've been just roommates with this dude for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And business partners. And could it be? I don't know. But I'm just, this reads like a novel or a story. So if I was writing this story, I would put in that maybe Joni, in order to get the presidency, went back to him with something that she had leverage on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you did X, Y, Z. I don't want to expose you. I don't want to destroy your legacy. Put me as president. Put our son as vice president. When I'm ready, I will relinquish the power to him. But I want to take it in the event that you go. Because I stuck by you.
Right. There's just so many layers to this, bro. I feel like this clears a lot of things up. Like, we see motive. We see a very active timeline. Like, we don't know for sure if Doug was their counselor, but it would make sense.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what the rumor is, that Doug was part of their counseling team.
And we mentioned before, Doug was on their program so many times, right? Like, every time he had a new book, every time that he had, like, he was a regular guest on their program, someone that was very well liked on their program. Like, a lot of people were feeling his content, and it makes a lot of sense. They must have connected a lot. She probably confided in him quite a bit, and they probably got a liking to each other, and one thing led to another. And
I mean, come on, you had to be scoping the scene. You had to be scoping the scene in 3 months.
And Doug, he sees the opportunity. COVID took Marcus out, and then he said, "Now's my
these streets are running wild with the theories too, bro. I ain't even gonna touch that.
I know,
but these streets is going crazy with the theories about how your boy passed. But that ain't nothing I want to even mess with. But what I'm saying is, the moment he was gone, your boy saw an opportunity to jump in. Hey, baby girl,
what's your name?
Yo, I see the reasoning behind her already being detached, behind her moving on so quickly, because she probably already moved on from him. And who's to say he didn't slip up again, right? And
this is just one. I wouldn't be shocked if there were others.
And who's to say that he doesn't have an illegitimate something out there? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that could be going on that she has so much leverage to be able to say, hey, no, you're going to do X, Y, and Z at this juncture.
Yeah.
And you have, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't. The only reason he was able to come out and say I was doing an affair is because his wife was sitting next to him.
Mm-hmm.
Had he come out there solo dolo, it would have been a no-no. We'd be like, nah, your wife doesn't disagree. Doesn't agree. You've been out there, you haven't made amends. Nah, and then everything would have came crumbling down. So yeah, she's gonna sit there, she's gonna nod, she's gonna say, yeah, I was mad, but God has given me peace. But mentally, emotionally, she's checked out.
Yeah. She just sees the business opportunity that is, because we've talked, and we have another video coming up that's gonna talk a lot about the finances of the situation because it is crazy. But again, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think this definitely ties a lot of loose ends that we've had in this story. And I don't know. Y'all let us know.
It tells me how everybody's flawed, how flawed Marcus was. So it makes it more believable that he would totally exonerate someone without doing the proper due diligence and having an independent investigation, just to say, hey, nope, he's innocent. Let's keep it going. Forgive him, do all that stuff, submit all that stuff. That makes it more plausible because we've seen him function in sin before and do it well until it was brought to Joni. And I don't even know if he admitted it the first time she said it and brought it to him, right?
Probably not. And it doesn't make a difference. But I do remember, though, that when they talked about Marcus's response to Pete, Marcus said, he's innocent. I know what it feels like to be falsely accused of things. They literally said that when Marcus heard about Pete, he said verbatim, Pete is innocent. I know what it's like to be falsely accused. So this situation changed Marcus in the way where everything is all about defense. Whenever there is an allegation or anything, because imagine what they felt like when those ladies came to them talking about, hey, either pay $7 million or we're gonna take it to the press. They were trying to protect this conglomerate that is Daystar. Yeah. And they are like, hey, we're gonna do anything that we can to protect it. And that became the posture. So once this thing became so big and massive and it was producing as much income as it has, they're like, we have to do anything that we can to protect this. So we're not going to let Pete, who potentially essayed our granddaughter, we're not going to let that take us down. No, we're going to hold a good front like we've been doing for this long. And we're just gonna ride this wave until the wheels fall off. And that is the big takeaway from this. Like this set a precedent in the way that Marcus and Joni moved when it came to Daystar and when it came to their life. We have to have a united front.
Yep.
We have to put on a smile. And even if we're exposing some of our baggage, we're going to do it in a way that positions us in the most favorable light possible, because we have to protect this baby called Daystar, and nobody will stop it. And that's how we get to where we are now. We don't care about whether it's our kids, our grandkids, nobody's safe. It's all about keeping this bag flowing.
So I love how the storyline just lets us know that you heard of, God, family, country. Mm-hmm. I wonder what they have it. Is it God, Daystar, family, country? Is it Daystar, God, family, country? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what hierarchy do they have this in? And I think it's encroaching on protecting Daystar above all else, because there are things that they are doing and saying that they know are lies and fabrications that would displease God, but it would work well in terms of protecting the brand and keeping that go forward.
I believe that God is a product to Daystar, and many Christian leaders.
Woo!
It is.
Say that again. Wait. Say that again. One more time.
God is a product. It's a good sell. Mm-hmm. Christianity is a good sell. The Bible is a good sell. Jesus is a good sell. It's a product. It is it is a compelling narrative that can generate lucrative income. Like we have like this idea that these people are really thinking about what God wants or how to protect their faith. We have to get that out of our heads, because that's not what's happening. Like, these are people who are trying to make money.
A lot of it.
They're trying to make money. They're trying to build. They're trying to build a great name for themselves. This has nothing to do with God. Like, it has nothing. Absolutely.
It's the product that we pushing.
They just found out. Oh my gosh.
Can't keep it on the shelf.
This thing sells like hotcakes. Everybody wants some of Jesus. So they just created a lot of products that sell, and so I think that they might believe that they're doing it, because eventually you can convince yourself that this is for God. You can convince yourself anything that you do is for God.
Yeah.
Like,
and 100%.
So like I think that they and it became so big that now it's your job to protect it. Everyone is on defense. Like, you heard in the audios, like, hey, my job here is, it's not that I don't like you. I'm just here to protect the brand. Like, that's what this is all about. So, like, the fact that they call themselves a church, which is wild. And I can't wait to get to this next thing, because woo! This jump blowing my mind, bro. Like, there's some stuff that these people do that I didn't even know that was a thing that you do.
Oh, they do. And that's why we know that it's more. It's a business, and these individuals have great business acumen, and you got to hand it to them. But we're gonna address that in the next video. But again, Marcus was slinging sausage, which caused
saying sausage. Why are we saying sausage?
Wang.
Jesus help us.
But that was probably the genesis of this whole debacle that we are now in.
There ain't no love in this thing, man. There ain't no love.
Ain't no love.
Yeah. Hey, let us know what y'all think, and we'll see you in the next episode. And if you
be a vibe,
subscribe. Yo, y'all are showing out on these subs, man. We getting subbed up everywhere. People coming into the comments, like, keep it up.
Let's have the conversation. Yeah, let's have the conversation. Am I way off base, or is him slinging that thing the genesis of this dissension?
And I'm not giving Joni no credit, man. She didn't stay in this because she was a better person. It was a business move. It was a business move. Because if you were for real about it and this was a love thing, you would have said you would have left and just and restarted. But you knew, why would I do that when I got a whole opportunity right here? So I'm not nah. Mm-mm.
Let me get those $7 million that those women were asking for in a Cayman bank account, please.
Bro, I just thought of this too. I just thought of this too. Oh my gosh, bro. I know we were just about to drop off, but I just thought about this. Remember when Jonathan was being banned? Remember the video that we did where what's his name? Doug start crashing out on Jonathan?
Yeah.
Like, man, I was going through this and that and all of this thing. God doesn't want us to stay in this. And remember Jonathan? Jonathan was like, but can't God change her?
Hey, bro, I'm there. Yo, that's true, my guy. That's true, my guy.
And remember how emphatic he was. Like, he was like,
isn't that the best case scenario?
Isn't that the best case scenario? Bro,
isn't that what we should be praying for?
So Jonathan is like, yo, if my parents can do it, why can't y'all?
They ain't had that much to lose. as your parents did. They ain't had as much to gain as your parents did.
He's like, yo, we ain't have that bag like that. Like my income was not tied to my marriage.
Wow, bro.
They're interviewing me. I might bring my wife.
Yeah.
My wife's an admin. She's not the talent. I'm the talent. You can't replace me. You can replace her though. It's busy.
King Kong. Oh, bro, that's a great point, bro. Great point. Yeah, because I was calling Jonathan naive for, and they were like, hey, you don't have enough life experience to know what he's going through. But he's like,
so they convinced Jonathan that there was a legitimate reconciliation of their marriage because that's what God can do. That's how they convinced him. And they tried to convince the world that, oh yeah, look what God can do. God can restore marriage. God can get us. God, you can survive infidelity. Look what God did with us. And it was a front the entire time. You cannot convince me otherwise. This was
and I will say that yes, God is able to do that in people's marriages. But in this scenario, we're just seeing too many signs to say if it was really that much back together, how could the transition be so quick and seamless?
And it's not to say, here's the thing too, and this is a whole different thing. Dang, like we were supposed to shut up, but like it's just coming to me. It's coming to my spirit.
Don't go Marcus Rogers on this, bro.
But this idea, and this is a whole conversation. This whole idea of marrying for love is actually a fairly new concept.
Factual.
This was not the way that marriage has always been constructed in the history, and we see it in the Bible. When people got married, those were business decisions. Hey, if y'all like each other, cool. But we're trying to conduct business. We're creating partnerships because
consolidating power. Yeah,
we're and it's about constructing resources. So like we have been sold this narrative that, oh my gosh, it's all about just love and a romantic comedy and we're all about just connecting, falling in love.
I'm mad about you. Nah, bro.
In history, marriage was always considered a way of families coming together, consolidating power, consolidating resources in a way to preserve their bloodline.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they were doing. They were like, hey, I don't really like you no more, dog. I'm not really feeling you. And he's like, look, I can get any woman I want. I can be with anybody that I need to be with. And you ain't fulfilling all of my needs. So I had to take it elsewhere. And I would be, I mean, come on, we're all grown here. Hide your wife, hide your kids. I would be shocked there was not continual situations for both of them.
Because maybe they had an understanding.
There are a lot of open marriages out there where they say, "Hey, we'll stick around for the kids and for the business."
Wow, but you can't do that you can't do that as leadership in the chat.
That is where it gets sticky. But you see, sometimes you. But you see, when you take the church out of it for a second and just isolate it by itself, you could see how things sort of develop. And then you bring the church back in and then it gets complicated again. because now there are certain expectations that you have of church leaders
morally, yeah,
where they're putting on and they're putting on this perception of this is the way that we're supposed to do it. And a lot of times they create standards that they're unable to live up to. Because to be honest, like when you think about these people, like when it comes to infidelity and other moral issues that these leaders face, the larger their organization gets, the more wealthy they become. Mm-hmm. There are some sins that you didn't have to get tempted by because there was no option for you. If you living paycheck to paycheck, pastoring the storefront church, I'm sorry, there ain't, you're not given those options. But when you riding around in a Bentley
or getting chauffeured around,
and you bringing in millions and millions of dollars
per service, per week,
multiple properties in multiple cities, you have a private jet, you all of a sudden, for some reason, now you become more attractive.
Oh yeah,
and
the money makes me handsome.
Back then they didn't want me, now I'm hot.
The money makes me handsome. Yeah, bro. I great points. Phenomenal points. I agree. I ain't got, bro. Yo, my bad, Jonathan. My bad. I called you naive. Man, I'm giving an apology to Jonathan, Joni, because I ain't know it like this.
When we get more information, then things begin to make more sense. But hey,
yes.
See, y'all had to stick around for the end for the sauce. See, we were just slowing up, and then all of a sudden,
boom! My appetizer, full course meal, and dessert.
All right, y'all. Again, we got a few more videos coming in because we got to talk about. We got some situations we need to discuss, and that's all I got to say. Be a vibe, subscribe, let us know what you think. We'll see y'all later.
Peace.